Any questions? Okay. Not will chant from. I think we finished. 15 to 20. Sixteen to 20.
No, it's not so loud.
Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakulas Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau Kashyascha Parameshwasaha Shikhandi cha Maharatha Drishtadhyumno Viratascha Satyakishchaparajitaha Drupado Draupadeyascha Sarvashah Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahuः Shankhan Dadmuh पृथक् पृथक् सघोषोधातराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन् अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धातराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः
One of the only way to change yourself is what? What is the only way? Not one of them.
You should want to change.
Okay. I give you that. Given that, what is the way to change? Why don't people change, even if they want to change?
Your inner self,
Your
your internal, your inner self, your
What-
conscience, your
what-
conscience or your mind and intellect.
Yeah, what about it? Correct.
You should change it and you should improve it.
That's true. But how? What is the only way to change?
You should feel that it is important or something is not.
I do feel many things, right? You and I feel. अरे
Feel.
ये ठीक नहीं है मेरे में, मुझे चेंज करना है, मुझे फीलिंग है, आपको भी है फीलिंग, चेंज क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? क्या है? व्हाट इज द सीक्रेट? पहले तो आपने बोला इंटेंशन तो चाहिए ऑब्वियसली, यू वांट टू चेंज, करेक्ट? What changes your mind and intellect?
Your voice is not loud. If you can make it loud.
So what changes is your mind and intellect? First you want the intention. The change, what changes is your mind and intellect. You need to feel that you need to change. You really genuinely feel, obviously, you feel that you want to change. People don't change. People who want to change. Why? What is the short way? Huh?
Statue.
Hmm? Sorry?
कृपया लक्षस्य स्टेशन आपली संपत्ती आहे स्टेशन लक्ष ठेवण्याकरता
Okay. How? How do people walk? How? Change कैसे होता है?
मतलब थोड़ा हटके कैसे कुछ हुआ जाए ना?
Meaning?
Means how do you, yeah, that only means at the present condition or situation, say, or state, say, how do you shift, no? That you're asking, no?
How does any change happen in you?
When the conscience or presence of mind is aware and alert.
Correct. How do you make sure that your conscience and presence of mind is there for the change?
By
What is the-
practicing solitude, meditation, chanting.
How do you practice solitude, meditation? What brings about that? See, you know these answers, right? I mean, obviously, practice, make sure, meditate.
Breathing techniques,
I read technique.
yogic sutras.
You, Bape. So many things are there like that. I give you a silly example. Silly example. Very silly. But it brings home the point. I drive, and in the car, it's not tinted glasses, it's like normal glasses. So, ever so often, the sunlight hits you, you know, and in the car, it's like quite bright. So, I don't like such a bright inside, you know, I like a little dim. So, when I'm driving in the mornings, I don't like the sunlight inside. Now, it's been bugging me for some time, couple of months, and I'm thinking, क्या करूँ उसको tint करूँ क्या नहीं तो कुछ लगाऊँ क्या, you know, आजकल पर्दे वर्दे लगा रहे, it looks really bad. But anyway, thought about all that. But then recently I heard a video about some Ayurvedic kind of a video where that person was saying every day certain things you need to do, like yoga and all that. But every day you need to have at least 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight on you. So you can't be just sitting at home. You have to go out and bask in the sun or whatever, or work in the sun. But that much 15 to 20, 10 to 15 minutes, you must get the sunlight. Your body is designed like that. Now, that information stuck. Now, what is the change now? See, now when I drive the car, the feeling that I need to cover the windows, do this or tint the glass and all those things are gone. Just vanished. Now, whenever I sit in the car, I want the opportunity for the sunlight to come in and fall on me. Even I have that sky roof thing, I open that as well. Now, for the last couple of months, what was bugging me was too much light. And whenever I sit in the car, there was a thought, kya karu iska, kya karu iska. Now, when I heard this knowledge, what has changed? The perspective, the attitude itself has changed. There's no more agitation. Now I welcome the sunlight. Okay. Just before that, I used to like, अरे क्या है, कितना गर्म है अंदर. So what is the drive home point here is, unless you and I understand why the change, how will it affect me, there will not be any change. We know so many things, but we do not understand. There's a difference between information and understanding. We know that, अच्छा ठीक है, we have to assess the world, assess the people. मुझे मालूम है. But we do not understand that it is what is necessary to live. That is, to assess the world. हाँ, sir, expectations नहीं चाहिए किसी के ऊपर. We understand, we heard that. But no, we don't understand. We have heard that. But we really do not understand that you should have reasonable expectations and no more, no less. That thought has not settled in. And until and unless that thought settles in, you will always have this sangharsh with the world, the fight, the problem. Duryodhana had this problem. He has the issue with everybody. And I have also met people who have problem with everybody. Everything is a problem. Traffic is a problem. Sunlight is a problem. People are a problem. Auto drivers are a problem. Everything is a problem. The dogs are the problem. Everything is a fight. One of the reasons for that is, as long as you're fighting with yourself, you will fight with the world. To the extent you're settled with your personality, to that extent you're settled with the world. We always think there is something wrong with the world. We always think कि world has to adjust. ऐसे इसको adjust करना चाहिए. ऐसे इसको live करना चाहिए. ऐसे इसको होना चाहिए. The issue with the world is directly correlated to the issue with yourself. This we do not understand. Because we have not understood our own personality. We have never analyzed our personality, that these are the things right and these are the things wrong. For example, you have 2 legs, 2 hands. So you're walking down the road. Somebody calls you, "Hey, langde," "Hey, langdi," or something like that. Right? What is your reaction? Hey, what is your reaction if somebody call you are walking properly? You are a marathon runner. You just ran a marathon and you're walking down the road. Somebody calls you langde. What is your reaction?
You'll
Don't,
get angry.
huh?
You'll get angry
You'll get angry. Why?
because that's not the truth.
So I see what you're saying. You're saying you already know what you are, so it won't matter.
It
Right?
doesn't matter to you, right?
Yeah, reflex might be like this, but the
They will not be
yeah.
reflex fight. See, you know, you just ran a marathon and you're walking down the road and somebody calls you, "Hey, langde, कैसे चल रहा है?" हाँ? पागल है क्या वो? Internally you're thinking, "Hey, तो पागल है." You laugh it out, right? You'll not get angry. ऐसा जी, why will you get angry?
Because if it's not truth, then
But
you will.
why would you get angry if it's not a truth? You'll laugh it out,
Yeah.
isn't it? अच्छा, क्या बोलते हैं, you have two eyes. ए, no, इसमें थोड़ा you will get angry. But I understand. See, I'm giving you explanation. Something that you have, huh? And somebody says you don't have it. It doesn't matter to you. You'll not get angry. I am not. Now, if somebody calls you idiot, what is your reaction? What's your reaction?
Takes one to know one.
So what is your reaction? You laugh it out? No. You get angry. Why? When somebody calls you Landa, you don't get angry. But somebody calls you an idiot, why do you get angry? Why? Why do you get angry when somebody calls you idiot?
Because it hurts your ego or it hurts you.
Why does it hurt your ego?
It's not as evident that it's wrong.
Isn't it? So, there is a doubt in you because you have not assessed yourself. You actually think there may be some idiotness in me. So if somebody calls you an idiot, you want to defend it. So you actually think you are an idiot in some part. In your deepest thoughts, you don't think you are a best, you are normal. Or best छोड़ो, you are normal. You are what you are. You have not assessed yourself. I have not assessed कि मैं मेरे पे 20% idiotness है, 80% मैं sane हूँ. ऐसे मेरे पास assessment ही नहीं किया मैंने. तो किसी ने idiot बोला, I get offended because I want to defend that 20% because I have not assessed myself. Where I actually think I am. The moment I assess that, हाँ, थोड़े काम होते हैं सबसे, मुझसे भी होते हैं. किसी ने idiot बोला आपको, there won't be any issues. This is what I'm coming back to, saying that first is we have never assessed the world. We have never understood the world as it is. As I said last time, a cobra will have fangs. You may think, अगर नहीं है तो अच्छा रहता है. You may think, you have the freedom to think. But it will have fangs, period. This is the way the world is designed. Similarly, you must also understand people are what they are, they cannot change. Third thing, you must also understand that I am what I am. This is what it is. There is no shame in 20% idiotness in me. But I am willing to change. So the more you're settled with yourself, the more you understand yourself, the less the reaction with the world. There is no such thing as forgiveness. One of the qualities of a jnani is kshama, forgiveness. What is forgiveness? I forgive you for the things you have done. Vedanta says, who are you to forgive anybody? What right do you have? What moral standing, higher standing that you have? There is no such thing as forgiveness, Vedanta says. Why? Because the moment you understand a dog is a dog, it has got canines, and in any situation, it may bite. When the dog bites, you don't say, I forgive the dog. Do you ever say that? Have you ever thought like that at least? Say, chor. You never even think like that. Ki, theek hai, I forgive that dog for biting me when I was feeding it. Why don't you say that? Why don't I say that with a dog? Because I understand a dog is a dog, and this is its true nature. It can bite. The problem comes when we deal with people. We do not understand people. The closest people we have not understood. Forget the people who are not close to us. Your own mom, your own dad, your own brother, sister, you have not understood. The most misunderstanding happens with your own partner and kids. At least you give some leeway to your mother and father because you know them for a long time. Okay, ऐसे ही है मेरे पापा, ऐसे ही है मेरे मम्मी. You don't give that leeway to your partners. Why? Because you never understood your partner or your kids. After a while, you give that leeway to your kids. But you never give leeway to your closest friend or your partner. Why? You never understood them. They are what they are. God has designed them the way He has designed them.
Does it mean that you have not to correct anybody?
You cannot correct anybody, Ashaji. How? How can you correct anybody? How? Unless it's a small child. The moment they hit the teenagers, you cannot correct. Khatam ho gaya. How can I correct anybody? It is just not possible. We need to understand this. It is not a feel. Okay, it is a feeling based on understanding, but I don't need to accept this. I just need to understand. Every being is working and behaving according to its nature. It is infallible law. You and I may question in the most deepest sincere intention, but it is what it is. Dog has the canine, it will bite anytime. It will. You have that intrinsic understanding that dog is a dog. Itna love it will show, but it may bite at any time. And the moment it bites, there's an issue. This understanding we don't have with the people because we have not analyzed people as they are. And people have not analyzed us. See, before getting into why I'm for previous class also I discussed this. The reason I'm discussing this is more practical not than Bhagavad Gita, first chapter. You do understand. Because of that only this has come, but because of analyzing Duryodhana only this concept has come. But this is more practical. I cannot change anybody. I cannot. You have to I don't know how you will convince yourself. But actually there's no convincing. It's just sheer analysis. Dekho aap. People do not change. It's like a writing set on a rock. Their personality is set, carved in a rock. You may be thinking, so, sir, so pessimistic you're talking. It is true.
But do the circumstances change a person?
No. If they want to change. I've seen so many people going through so many experiences, couple of accidents, and still do the same thing. Still do the same thing. Not learned anything. And Hare, you're 40, you're 60 years old and you still not learned anything. They cannot learn. It is not in their nature to learn. But they have improved in the other way. That is their nature. In that area they'll learn. सर ऐसे कैसे? वैसे ही है. See, Ravi ji, there's no such thing as forgiveness. This concept of forgiveness is all alien. Vedanta says forgiveness meaning the moment you say, I forgive you, that is forgiveness. For which Vedanta says, who are you to forgive anybody? आपका क्या moral standing है? Yes.
No, I was referring to the previous discussion that you had mentioned that the ego clash happens mostly when with your partner or maybe with your siblings, but the ego clash is minimal with your parents. The reason is that because parents have learned the art of forgiving. Like they say in Hindi, क्षमा बड़न को चाहिए, छोटन को अभिमान. So the person who can forgive, he is a great person. Not that he wants to become great, but he knows that look, if I keep an ego or if I keep a grudge in my mind, nothing is going to change. So they have learned this lesson. So this sentence which I have written, greatness lies in how forgiving you are, is with reference to what we had discussed earlier. Thank you.
So even with the parents, when we say forgive, how are they able to do it? How are they able to cope up with our personality? The sheer
They
fact,
have learned,
huh?
yeah, they have learned the art of forgiving. They have learned
No,
of ignoring.
there's no art of forgiving there. That is the problem I'm saying. There is no art of forgiving. They've understood my son and daughter are like this, period. I have seen growing them. This fellow is like this girl is like this. कुछ भी करो ये ऐसे ही है. You ask your parents now, मम्मा, डैडी, पापा, मैं कितना चेंज हुआ? तू वैसे क्या वैसे ही है रे. They
So
understand.
this is what happens with partner also. Over a period of time, once you're married, you understand the nature of other person and you start living together. You start ignoring.
Now,
With time, you also learn.
now that's the problem, right? We don't learn with the partners. Why do you think there are so many divorces, so many issues with the partners? Because you have, see, even parents also, it's not that parents have understood anything. Parents also, more to a little more extent, they have understood their kids. Or to that same extent, the kids have understood their parents. Hey, मेरा पापा ऐसे ही है, खत्म. The father will say, मेरा बेटा ऐसे ही है. थोड़ा अंडरस्टैंडिंग. फिर भी उनको एजिटेशन होता है. एजिटेशन क्यों होता है? बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट एक्सेप्टेड यू द वे यू आर, और यू आर नॉट एक्सेप्टेड द वे दे आर. With in between partners, this understanding is zero almost. But there are a couple of partners who have no issues. That means they have understood the way they are. There's no forgiveness there. I forgive you, you forgive me. These are alien concepts. I understand you. That's it. I have no issues when you behave like that because I know this is how you behave. See, anybody behaves the way they are because of either because they want to not either, they want to protect themselves. That's it. This is how they will function.
Sir, does not forgiveness also cause ego? मैंने उसको माफ किया.
वही तो
So
ना, वो wrong concept है, इसलिए मैं बोल.
exactly.
Who am I to forgive you? मैं कौन सा higher moral standing ले रहा हूँ? I cannot take that. On what basis? I myself have flaws. So in one aspect, I take offense to you because I think I'm better than you. वो forgiveness हो गया. That's a wrong concept. I don't have to forgive you. I just understand you are the way you are. So when you transgress certain things, I know that. The sympathy that I have for myself every time I transgress my own boundaries is the similar sympathy I extend to another person when they transgress certain boundaries. I have infinite patience with me. Why? Why don't I get irritated with me all the time? I do, but all the time, nahi. I have infinite patience with me. Why? Because I understand myself to that extent. ये मेरा ये problem है. But I don't extend that to another person. Anything that they do is an issue. Why? Because I don't understand them the way they are. मेरे को पेशेंस है मुझ पे उन पे नहीं है क्यों? I don't understand. And you see people who have no patience with anything and anybody because they have no understanding of themselves. Everything is a problem because they have an internal conflict within their personality. Super conflict, deep conflict. They've never resolved it. And there are some people who have almost no issues with the world around them. They have no conflict with themselves. It's all interconnected.
Then why do people go to counselors? If that is the thing, if you cannot change, then why do people go there?
Because they want to change.
But you are saying they won't change.
Others won't change.
The counselors have to change them.
So how? What
So
is the
if they are not going to change, according to you, then
if they want to change, only they can change.
So in
See,
spite of going to counselors, they just go for the sake of it, but they may not change.
Hannah,
Just to hear something.
the husband wants to take the wife for counselor. Husband wants to change. Wife doesn't want to change. ये क्या मेरे को लेके आई इतना पैसे दे रहे हैं उसको वो क्या बोल रहा है मुझे मालूम है सब कुछ she doesn't want to change. Why? She cannot change. She will not change. The husband may change because husband sees the value that counselor can give some input to analyze myself. See, what is the counselor doing? Have you ever seen a counseling session? Live नहीं, at least YouTube पे देखो. वो क्या? What are the questions the counselor asks? What do you think about this situation when she did this or when he did this? What do you think is happening within you? Why do you think this is happening within you? The counselor is just asking questions which is giving him clarity about himself, about herself.
It all boils down to the statement which you made earlier that each one of us is helplessly bound by the nature. A. And B, with the present discussion, we have to see that if you point finger at somebody else, there are four fingers which are pointing at you. So the only thing that you can change is yourself. The moment you remove the layer of ignorance on your mind, and look, something has to be done with myself, then only you can go and one step forward for that matter. And that's what the counselor is doing. The counselor is basically trying to remove that layer of ignorance from your mind and trying to point out that you look within yourself and find out what is wrong with you and try to make an attempt to change yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this we must get in our brain no matter what. People.
I have a question here, Vivek. You said people who have issues with the world around them have deep internal conflicts. Okay. Suppose I'm that kind of person, right? So you've pointed me in this direction. How do I figure out what is the source of deep internal conflict?
So first is to recognize the problem कि अगर मेरे को everything से problem है, that means I have a problem with myself. It is coming from here. Now next thing is, what is my problem? The questions you need to ask yourself, you need to sit down and write it down. What is the issue? एक एग्जाम्पल लो. हाँ, अभी इसने ऐसे बोला, इश्यू क्या है? उसने सही बोला, गलत बोला? हाँ, तो you have some other inputs that we discussed here just now. कि if somebody calls me stupid, why did I get offended? If I am not stupid, there's no offense, because if I have two hands, somebody calls me, तेरे पास हाथ नहीं है, I will laugh it out. So that means there are certain aspects in me that don't match my own expectations, in which I feel I'm stupid, for which the correct understanding is there is no such thing as stupid. Can I call a turtle stupid because it cannot climb a tree? But I'm calling it.
Because I have not understood.
Turtle cannot do that. So I may be good in one aspect, 80%, 20% I cannot. It's not my interest. But 80% I'm putting my effort, right? So how can I call myself inadequate at that area? I cannot. I'm trying. See, Simyananda also says this. Your goal should be not something that you can achieve. Your goal should be the highest. It's not the goal that matters. It's the process to get the goal. So if you are giving your percentage, 100% or 50%, whatever, 50% only I'm giving, 50% only you can give. Can I give more? Of course, 55% I can try. Do it. But the confidence that you will have that you have given 50 plus 5 will give you more assessment about yourself than expecting to give 100%. This is the analysis one must do. When I do that analysis, then I have not issues with myself. When I don't have issues with myself, I immediately extrapolate that with others, on other things. अच्छा, मुझे समझ में आ गया. To that extent, I understood. Similar issue with that fellow. I used to get very bugged with people who are driving bikes when I'm driving a car. Right? They used to go, बीच में से चले आते हैं, यहाँ से चले आते हैं. मेरे सामने एक कार को वो स्क्रैच करके गया. लाइक इसको मारना पड़ेगा, सामने आई एम थी दो कार के बीच में, देयर इज नो प्लेस फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, एंड हिज क्या बोलते हैं मिरर scratched through me, and I what can I do? I was getting angry and all that. Then when I'm driving the bike, then I started noticing I'm also driving like that. I say, because there is space, right? You want to squeeze through that space. Oh, so I'm inconveniencing that car people also, right? Oh, that's not the way to drive. That's the understanding, see. So when he drives like that, I understand. He wants to squeeze through it. He doesn't want to, because he has a bike. He's not in a car. So when he goes like that, so what I do right now is, if there is enough space that the people can think and go through, I close that space. This is my protection for the car, आगे से भी निकल जाते हैं ऐसे. So I make sure that the bike or anything doesn't go on the sides and the front. That's how I park my car in the truck. That precaution I take, so nobody comes. I have no issues now. Does it answer? I'm here. Yes?
Sorry, to some extent, yes.
What is the other extent that didn't get answered?
I guess I'll have to practice it and find out.
See, it's always with us. The issue is with us. See, there are definitely issues with the world, obviously. But a person who is sorted within has no issues with the world. There are innumerable examples like this. He will recognize the issue with the world. Yes, problems have world में, but those problems don't affect him. See, that guy will go like that. I know that two-wheeler guy will go like that. It's an issue, it's a problem. But I circumvent that problem and not get bugged.
So here in this case, you actually put yourself in the same position and you realize you did the same thing, right? Very often it will happen, for example, in a work situation, people choose to be careless or irresponsible or idiotic, right? But I'm not careless and irresponsible and idiotic. So every time somebody is that, right, it bothers me. Even though I know that,
Why?
he doesn't care more than just paying his bill, so it doesn't.
So
But still, it every time everyone does that, it bothers me.
why?
So it
That's what I'm asking.
tends to spoil your. So I'm wondering what is it that I'm unsettled with myself, probably, right? Basis what you said, then there is some issue in me that's bothering me.
So see, the issue is you expect a person who is not invested in the job to invest in the job. कैसे हो सकता है? What are you asking him to do? You're asking him, let's say you're asking it's like very silly, right? You're asking a person who cannot run to do a half a marathon. कैसे करेगा? And you're upset that he's not able to do half a marathon. ये कैसे हो सकता है? See, his interest is he just needs to make enough money to feed his family. खत्म, उसको कुछ नहीं, उसको जॉब में इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं. So you can do certain things to circumvent that. So many things you can do. उसको लिमिटेड जॉब दो, उसको जॉब दो जो वो कर सकता है बस. Now the problem I get bugged with that fellow is because I don't understand how his mind is functioning. See, company है. It's your company. You have cars on the company's name. And you are driving one of the cars. How will you drive? You drive it as your own car. मेरी कंपनी है ना, मेरा कार है ना, कैसे ड्राइव करेंगे आप? संभाल के ड्राइव करेंगे. But you see that you have given 2 more cars to the company workers to use to and fro. How will they drive? Race car, full racing हो रहा है रोड पे. Pat, going through potholes, going through like dangerous potholes. Now you may say genuinely, "Arey, what the hell? What the hell? How can you drive like this?" What is their attitude? मेरी
It's
कंपनी
not mine. Yeah.
अरे कंपनी पे कर रहा है ना, प्रॉब्लम क्या है? It's not their car. Can you change that attitude? No. Can you get bugged on that? Of course.
Yeah. So
Of course. Please get bugged. That you cannot change it. Cannot. So you must understand, ठीक है, when you give 2 cars for the company workers, write it off. नहीं करेंगे उन उनका कंपनी ही नहीं है, and they will work for 1 year and go. What is their investment? But there'll be one person there. अरे ठीक से चलाना है, अपनी कंपनी है. सब लोग वैसे क्यों नहीं है? ऐसे कैसे रहेंगे यार? What are you expecting? This is the madness. Why is this madness? Because I do not understand people. I do not give them their due. Ki this is what they are. Please give them that. Similarly, let's say you hire a car. I don't know, India में hire कर सकते हैं कि नहीं? You hire a car. How will you drive that car?
No, I'll be careful, no? I would have paid it.
So insurance ले लिया, let's say. How will you drive that car? Potholes and all that, will that matter to you? Yeah. शॉक्स है ना अच्छे, मस्त है शॉक्स. थार मस्त है शॉक्स, चलाओ ऑफ रोड करो. मेरी कार नहीं है ना, मैंने पैसे तो भी दिए, अगर कुछ खराब होता है तो इंश्योरेंस ले लेगा. आई डोंट हैव दैट. सम पीपल में, because it's not my car. Similarly, that fellow. So you may be invested in something, doesn't mean he will be invested. So you must understand उसका इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना है, उसके मुताबिक उसको काम दो, नहीं तो निकालो उसको.
So does that mean there is no sense of improvement, scope of improvement?
For others, from your perspective, no, because they will not change unless they themselves want to change. And even if they want to change, they cannot change just like that. It will take time. The change is not like this. The change is like that. It's a parabola. It will not change like this. Because you yourself know you wanted to change, cannot change. You are able to change though. There is change, little change. People do not change.
So if I recognize, Vivek, that you are not so invested in the business,
Yes.
and I put in place some penalties
Yes, do
that
that.
ensure to limit your carelessness, is that wrong?
No, why not? Why is it wrong? Not at all.
I get the feeling that people regard it as, Hitler-like.
So it must be explained properly. It must be implemented properly. It must be implemented not so directly, indirectly. The how to is not the question. How to fix it is not the question. The question is to figure out the problem. Once you figure out the problem, then you use your mind and you use your intellect on how to, because you know the personality, how to put it through, how to do it. That's a different story. But a recognition of problem is only not there. How to do, I told you, na, simple example I gave you. I keep less space between cars. How to? Nobody has told me how to do it. I figured it out. It's not Einstein's thinking to figure that out. It may take some time. It may take some trial and errors, but you'll eventually figure it out. But the problem is not how to do it. The problem is, why did that happen? People do not change, will not change. Their personality is carved in stone. The stone will stay for thousands of years. The etching, even the hieroglyphics on the pyramids of Giza and all that, Egyptian pyramids, it's still there. It's like that. People's personalities are like that. It cannot change, will not change, period. The sooner you understand the world the way it is, the way God has designed it, the better you are. It's not your design. It's not their design. They didn't think they want to be like that. You did not decide before you were given birth that I will be like this. I'll be a male or I'll be a female or I'll be born in Taliban area or Afghanistan. You didn't decide that. Something decided that. It is what it is. This, the extent to which it enters my mind, I have lesser issues with the world. And the extent to which it enters my mind, I have lesser issues with myself. I am pushing myself in areas which needn't be pushed. I'm I'm expecting myself in things that needn't be expected of me. Why am I doing that to myself? That doesn't mean I settle for less. No. There is a thin line between these two equations. I don't need to settle for less. But I must understand what is a reasonable expectation for myself. We are only working in blacks and whites. Either you be 100% or 0%. There is no such thing like that. How can anybody do that? Either you have to be Tendulkar or you don't play cricket. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. So either you do this 100% or don't do it. ऐसे नहीं होता है. No, it cannot be done like that. But don't settle. Again, I'm telling you. It's not that you just give up on yourself. No. You understand your nature and give 10% more. You can't give 50% more. Please understand that also. Okay, I'm not studying. Get up for some time, half an hour you study. Half an hour you cannot take. No, sir, I'm not able to study, so I will not study. मेरे से नहीं होता study. Have you put an effort? 20 minutes you give, half an hour भी छोड़ो, 20 minutes you give. There has to be incremental changes based on your assessment of yourself. We are living life like buddhus without any understanding of the world and of ourselves, most importantly. Duryodhana is one such character. He has no understanding of the world. He has no understanding of himself. He has never questioned his intentions. He doesn't understand why Drona is doing what he's doing. He doesn't understand why Bhishma is doing what they are doing. He's living in his own la la land, they say, no? Everything must serve me. In life, you must give something and you will get something. He doesn't want to give anything. You cannot live life like that. There has to be sacrifices. Not everything you have to sacrifice. There is some extent you must sacrifice. Duryodhana doesn't understand, and that has led him to this situation of war. It's his own doing. He is dead because of himself. All his people are dead because of him. He is the reason. Zero understanding of the world. Questions? Must keep thinking about this. Question? If no questions. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll meet next time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.